Hey everyone, Dan Mortimer with eXp Realty coming to you again from Henderson, Nevada to give you the latest and greatest real estate market update for Henderson and Las Vegas, Nevada, kind of the surrounding areas. So this is data for the end of this past week, which ended on November 9th. Data is provided to me on the 11th. The weekend of the 10th, that was Sunday. And then the new week started on the 11th, which is Monday. That's when I usually get this data. And then I put this video together to send it to you. So this is data for basically the first full week of November. You'll notice some of these numbers are a lot lower than we typically see in a given week. I'll get into that a little bit later, but let's dive into the data for the last 7 days. So in the last 7 days, we saw 575 new listings hit the market. 118 came back on the market, so that means they were under contract with a buyer. Deal fell apart, property ended up going back on the market. 508 listings had a price decrease of some kind. Could be $1, could be $10,000, could be $100,000. Whatever it is, they all contribute to that stat. So 508 total price decreases in the last 7 days. We also had 202 properties go into under contract show status, another 291 that went into under contract no show status. So in total, you've got 575 new listings and 493 that went under contract. Now, as far as solds go, there were 384 homes that sold or closed their sale in the last 7 days, and then another 56 that went into coming soon status. That means that they went they're kind of in a pre-market status where they got uploaded to the MLS. They're not publicly available. They will be active on the market in 30 days or less. So in total, if you've been following along with these weekly updates and you're kind of seeing the numbers, you'll notice that the number of new listings and the numbers of under contract homes, they're a little bit lower than we've seen in previous weeks. I think the biggest reason for that is obviously we had the election last week. We had presidential elections, senatorial elections. There were a lot of items on the ballots, and people were very fixated on that. So when people are focused on that, they're not necessarily thinking about buying a home. They're not necessarily putting as many deals together. As you can see, there was activity happening, just not quite as much as we typically see in other weeks. So I know some people will say, oh, it's doom and gloom and everything's falling apart, everything's slowing down. Not the case, at least in my experience. Not the case. It's just sometimes you get these weeks. 4th of July is one of them. Thanksgiving weekend is one of them. The week of Thanksgiving, the week of Christmas, New Year's. We just kind of have these chunks of time during the year. And this one is especially different because it happens every 4 years. I know we have elections every 2 years here in Nevada, but this one in particular was kind of a big one. A lot of people were very fixated on the presidential election and Nevada Senate elections, and then all the questions and things like that. We all got bombarded with political ads for 8-9 straight months. So we all know what happened. That's not necessarily pertinent to this conversation, but it does slow down the activity because the overall thought process of people is they're fixated on something else, not necessarily thinking about buying and selling a home. So that's why you'll probably see those numbers are a little bit lower than what we've seen historically, even in just the last few weeks. Now, as far as active inventory goes, let's dive into those numbers really quickly. Single family homes, so that's an existing home detached from anything else. Obviously, it's attached to the ground, but it's not attached to the house next door to it, or it's not like a condo where there are other units above or below you or on the side. So single family homes, there are 6,091 active listings. 1,180 condo listings that are active, and 719, that's 719, townhouses that are active. So the trend that we're seeing is, the inventory is still kind of very, very steadily climbing. The prices overall have been going up, although in October we did see them just very slightly dip compared to the median price in September. Condos and townhomes are very hot right now. The appreciation is very strong on those. The demand on them is very strong. We're actually at record median prices for condos and townhomes in Las Vegas right now. They are historically high. And I think the main reason for a lot of that is you get people that want to buy a home, they want to own a home, but the median price and kind of the entry-level price for a lot of single-family homes has gotten to the point where it's just very difficult for individuals and families to be able to step up that much, and whether it's a gap between what they're paying rent wise and what they could get in a single family home, or they just don't need that much space. A lot of people are going to the condo townhome route because the price is a lot lower. Yes, the HOA fees are typically a little bit higher, but it's still much more palatable than paying an extra. I mean, the difference last month between the median condo townhome price and the median single family home price was almost, I think it was $160,000. So it's a pretty big jump. That's a big jump in down payment. That's a big jump in monthly payment. There are a lot of other factors outside of, just one particular thing. So I think there are several factors, but that's why we're seeing condos and townhomes. That's why we're seeing record prices in those. That's why we're seeing historic demand, historic appreciation in those markets. And single families doing okay. Prices are still kind of steadily climbing year over year. But we're still in kind of that unique window of opportunity right now where things are still a little bit sluggish. The rates haven't dropped down big time. I know there are a lot of buyers that are kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting for that to happen. But this is a unique time in the market. We're still seeing units get absorbed pretty quickly. I mean, you compare just in the last 7 days, you're talking 493 homes that went under contract compared to 575 that were listed newly listed. So you're only talking, there's only a handful of units that are sticking on the market for longer than, or that are getting absorbed, and very few that are still sitting. So still activity. We are still seeing multiple offer situations. I was actually just talking to a colleague here in the office earlier today. She had a client that was really interested in a property. They were trying to get it slightly below the list price, and sure enough, they had multiple offers, couldn't go below list. So it's definitely still happening. A lot of it depends on the price point, depends on the neighborhood, and if it's a hot property or not. So there are still some other factors there, but we're also seeing plenty of homes that are sitting. They're overpriced. They need to come down on price. And if you're a buyer that's interested in looking, there are opportunities out there for you where you have minimal competition. You can get favorable terms on a home. If you're thinking about buying in the spring, but you're in a position to buy now, I would say unless you cannot afford it now, or the monthly payment is just too much to handle now, but it'll be better in the spring, I still hold very firm that I think this is the best time to try to get a home locked down because you're going to get more favorable terms. You're likely going to pay more in the spring. You're going to have to come out of pocket more. You're going to get less help with closing costs. You're going to have to pay a higher price, and you're going to have more competition. You're going to have more buyers that are competing with you. You could have out-of-state cash buyers. You could have investor buyers that will beat you up on price. They're willing to waive contingencies, and it just puts you in a more uncomfortable spot to try to secure a home. But ultimately, that's your decision. Whatever you decide to do, or whatever you think makes sense for you, that's kind of the next thing I'm going to get into. One of the best ways that you can support me and my channel is if you are interested in buying or selling a home. I'd love to set up a free no-hassle consultation with you. I'll put a link in the description of this video so that you can see, so that you can set up a time to meet with me. But this represents an opportunity for me to learn a little bit more about your situation, and we can put a game plan in place for whatever your goal is, whether it's selling, buying, doing both, holding, renting for 6 months, renting for a year, whatever it may be. But this gives me an opportunity to sit with you, go over your situation, and see what makes the most sense for you. Because everybody's situation is different. No two people are exactly alike. And anybody that's telling you just to buy for the sake of buying, they're not really looking out for your best interest, which is not how I like to operate at all. I want to give you the information that I have available to me, and you make the decision that's right for you. That's how I've always run my business, and it's worked out pretty well so far. And the other way that you can support this channel, if you get some value from these videos, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel. There's no cost to do it. You're not going to get bombarded by me or anything like that. It's more kind of like following. If you're on other social platforms, it's kind of like following my channel. So you get notified when new videos get posted, and I try to put up new content every week to keep you informed of what's going on. I love doing property walkthrough videos and just kind of giving you the general lay of the land out here in Vegas and Henderson. So hope you guys got some value from this. We will see you again next week. And in the meantime, please be sure to like and subscribe. Take care, everybody.